What's up, Aries? Welcome to your reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to read your tarot cards. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, that's completely fine. Please push them aside. Do remember you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Let's set the intention to have some fun and get you some clear, helpful, insightful messages wherever you are at on your spiritual journey. One more good shuffle for Aries. It's Aquarius season, guys. Happy Aquarius season. So I'm mixing it up. We're doing some wacky spreads. I'll be honest, you guys are my guinea pigs. We're going to see how these go. So yeah, buckle up. This will be interesting for both of us. All right. So we're going to do past, present, and future. Ooh, reversed. Interesting. All right. You need to release and what you need to embrace. Okay, cool. So in the past, you have Capricorn energy. So you may have been dealing with a Capricorn in the past. This probably has to do with a strong focus on your work and career. I mean, we're coming out of Capricorn season, so it may have been a season of struggle, of challenges, but also of opportunities where you were asked to maybe step up your game, roll up your sleeves, put in the extra work, and put in the extra effort. Then coming up in your present, you have Venus, the planet of love, in reverse, as well as the feeling element. So this says to me, a lot of you had to pump the brakes on your love life. You may have gone through some sort of breakup or divorce, or just simply not making love a priority at the moment. But then in the future, you have the card of Neptune, which this card says sacrifice. But it is strongly related with the sign of Pisces, which is a feeling water sign. So it's like in the present, love and feelings, I don't know, I'm sort of getting the idea of swallowing feelings, especially if you did go through some sort of rejection or breakup or feeling just a little bit sensitive, a little bit vulnerable, not typically things Aries loves to embrace, right? I think you could argue most people don't love that energy of like, oh, that kind of hurt. So I think for some of you, you were like kind of throwing yourself into your work, again, putting that on the back burner. Neptune is a card very much associated with healing as well. So I think in the future, you are going to reach a point where this doesn't sting as much as it did, or the opposite, you're ready to sort of Capricorn, Saturnian energy, it's very restrictive, it's very closed off, it's very nose to the grindstone, whereas Neptune is, I don't know if you could say the complete opposite, but very, very different. Neptune is like this beautiful release and this flowing energy and, all inclusive, all encompassing. I always say like with Neptune, it's like we're all just God's children. Like there's very just like this flowy, kind of lovey-dovey spiritual energy. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean one-on-one connections. Like it certainly can. There's like the hopeless romantic side of that Neptune energy, kind of fantasy living on cloud nine. For you, I think it has a lot to do with like embracing a more spiritual side of yourself, and some of you may have even entered into some sort of class or course or even like an exercise thing that really promotes health and spirituality and using your body. So I'm sort of getting the idea of yoga. If it's not that, it's almost like you read something or heard something or somebody gave you some advice about storing resentment or storing negative feelings in the body. It's sort of like metaphorically, it like eats away at you a little bit, and so there's a need to like cathartically release kind of pain, negative energy, resentment, whatever it is that you're feeling as a way to heal yourself. I do think there's something about leaning more into the fantasy of the future. And the reason I'm saying that is what you need to embrace is your destiny. And so some of you are coming to the conclusion that the person that you were with, whether, love them or hate them or something in between, I'm getting like, it's complicated. I'm sure it was. Whoever you were with, it's very likely that maybe they were meant to serve you as a catalyst to get you to move on to something else that maybe you wouldn't have seen without them. It maybe something was mirrored back to you about yourself that in a positive way, it agitated you in a way where you had to step up and again, do something different with Capricorn energy. Something needed to shift or change, or we needed to be awoken, or an area of our life needed to be highlighted where we were maybe lacking or putting it on the back burner, and we had to kind of go into that full force and put the energy and effort there in order to to sort of find our compass again, find our true north, essentially. Something about this, it's like your compass was off. There was something that needed to realign you to your destiny and your purpose. And I do think just by making time to sit in silence, as tricky as that can be, especially if you're not into meditation or it's new to you, it's like the answers really do come when you allow yourself sort of the grace and sort of the time to sit in your own silence and connect with something spiritual, connect with a higher power. Again, for some of you, yoga, meditation, prayer, maybe it's tarot cards, maybe it's something that, more kind of occult or whatever for you guys. answers are coming, but I think this is word sacrifice is saying you may have had to sacrifice this, whatever this sort of rejection or love connection was, in order to get to something higher and more profound. And again, more alignment with what you're meant to do in this lifetime. It's not to say it was for nothing. It wasn't a waste of time. In fact, it was very necessary, but it does sort of have that feeling of it didn't quite go the way you had planned. So there's an adjustment period, right? There's a need to find your footing. What you're needing to release, you have communication in reverse. So there's a couple messages here. I think some of you may still be in communication with someone that is no longer in your life, and it could be that the universe is trying to allow that person to exit, and maybe you're still holding on to the idea and the memory of them. You know, air sign energy is the mind, it's Mercury energy, so like it can be being in communication with someone. Others of you feel like you have to suffer in silence, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. There's an interesting energy here of needing to embrace silence, but also with that, it's not that you're alone. I think there's a need, especially in Aquarius season, to embrace communities, to embrace group settings, to embrace social outlets, especially friendships, coworkers, networking, however you want to say, business opportunities, because that's what Aquarius does. It's all about linking and connections of groups of people, right? It's a sign most associated with friendship and humanity, really. So I think this is saying you don't have to go at it alone. I think there's people around you who are much like this did in maybe a more heavy way. I think there's going to be other connections that are very positive and help you kind of help guide you, not even intentionally, but again, sort of like angels in disguise, guardian angels, or they're going to help nudge you in the right direction, or they're going to have some sort of connection that would be beneficial to you. And it's not going to be this thing where it was like, oh, I love them and now I'm never going to see them again. You did go through something with Venus and the water sensing, feeling stuff in reverse. You may have had a difficult time with a water sign, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be, again, a family dynamic or whatever. But do have faith and trust that there is a greater purpose behind this. I think you guys are embarking on a new path, a new possibly spiritual journey where you are being asked to sacrifice a little in order to gain a lot and feel like you are more in alignment with what it is that you are hoping to accomplish here, especially in work-related career stuff. I see that taking a positive turn for you in Aquarius season, which, I mean, that makes sense, right? Aquarius and Aries, that's air and fire. Those two signs communicate well together. They need each other, right? The fire needs the oxygen to thrive and grow. So something about Aquarius season I think is going to be very beneficial to you. So hang in there. All right, that's one message for Aries. Let's see what else we got. I'm going rogue. I'm doing all these like weird oracle decks and spreads. I hope it's of use. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments if you like it or don't. But while you're at it, though, please do hit the like button so you don't forget at the end. Sign of good faith, right? I would appreciate it. I'm trying to grow my channel, so hitting the like button always helps me gain traction on YouTube, gets these messages out to those who need to hear them and want to hear them. All right, let's refocus our energy. Let's connect with either a new group of Aries or a new message that Aries needs to hear in the month of February-ish. All right, so let's see. So I'm getting something about like nourishment and feeding your soul. I think I need to know a little bit more, though. Hold on. Some of you're having some sort of lucky connection with a business partner where you might quite literally meet for coffee or some sort of like, yeah, let's meet up. Let me look at your resume. Let me pass on your resume. It's someone who's going to give you a leg up. And there's something about your vision when you share it with them. And it doesn't have to be like so like restrictive, like what's your 10-year plan? It doesn't have to be that, but it's like when you talk, there's such an enthusiasm, and it's like it's very raw and real, and I mean this in a good way, Aries. It's almost like this childlike unshakable faith that everything is going to work out, because it is. Like you already have a leg up, because that for most of you is kind of like your guiding light, is like things are going to work out. I just, you have speed bumps along the way. There's some sort of connection, especially business-wise, where you share your vision or you start talking about something you're super passionate about. And I'm almost getting this metaphor of like, it plays like a movie. It's like it has the beginning, the middle, and the end, right? It has, the chapters and the highs and the lows. And like, yeah, some of you are quite literally writing a book or doing a speech where you're sharing personal anecdotes or how you got to be where you are. Others of you, it's just you're sharing that in a conversation, and it's pushing you forward. by means of some sort of connection that's going to be very beneficial to you. Some of you, this is a job interview and like you're going to get the job if that's the case. Especially, it's like, I want to be clear because obviously this won't be everyone's story. There's something about the connection you make where you guys speak the same language. It's very like your narratives are very similar. You share a lot of like similarities in your background or your education, or you have mutual friends in common, or there's some sort of like, this person is like, oh yeah, I remember this candidate because, you know, they went to that school and that's where my sister went to school, or what, like there's some sort of like in with this person where you didn't even have to work for it. It's like, I don't know if nepotism is the right word, but yeah, you are getting out of a situation where it felt like, again, sort of in our last message, that Capricorn energy of like blood, sweat, and tears, like I'm ascending the mountain no matter what, and maybe I feel like I'm going at it alone. That's not going to be the case much longer. You're getting out of a place that was very busy, very chaotic. It was just like go, 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 go. There's like an embracing of a more peaceful, unfolding. I'm going to say it's a slower chapter, but it's very much needed. And I think it would be something you would look forward to. It feels like you are in hustle mode. Like again, trying to get the attention of whoever. This could be romance as well too. Again, having this like insane connection with someone where it happens with ease. There isn't a lot of like nervousness. There isn't a lot of did they like me and I'm all in my head. It's just like you guys break bread and it feels so right. I think you have a similar dream. You have a similar vision. And so if this is someone bringing you on board to work for their company, it's like they already want you in like a management position because they're like, I like Aries knows what's up and like they're gonna make this happen because like their past narrative tells me like this is a person who wins. And you might not be feeling that about yourself, but other people are viewing you in like this very I'm hearing awe-inspired. Like you've accomplished a tremendous a lot in a short period of time, or I don't know if it's for your age. It's like you know you've put in tons and tons of work, and now you're starting to reap the rewards of it, and you get to relax a little bit. You get to let your hair down, maybe because you're not hustling for that, you know, income where it's like living paycheck to paycheck. You're going from that to like you have a nice little salary and stream or multiple streams of income coming in where you're able to rest and enjoy life a little bit. You're able to make time for games and for fun and for play and for which it's funny, those sound like very like juvenile kid like words, but I also think as Aries, you know, you're very much associated with childlike energy, and so there's something very important of, you know, go play with your toys even if you're a full-fledged adult, right? There's something about you're able to relax a little bit. Some of you may be buying a home for the first time, which is very exciting. You may be upgrading to a better house, a better home, moving land, moving properties. Some of you may be getting out of like the hustle and bustle of the city and moving to a more like rural area. If that's not the case, it may have to do with your branch or your network or who you oversee at work. It may be moving into a different territory or terrain where it's not that there's less business, there's just more of a casual approach where yeah, it's like you're not burning the candle at both ends. There might be a small trip planned. It could be like a mini vacation or a even like a staycation with the home. You may have the luxury of being able to take a few weeks off of work because your income has gone up. And so again, it's not like this, oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? Or I, you know, hustle, hustle, hustle. I have 5 side projects and this and that. There's a little bit like, whew, okay, we can release what isn't needed here anymore because what we have is so good. We have more clarity on what is worth putting our time and effort into. And for a lot of you, there's a big focus on home. What you need to embrace is home. Comfort, familiarity, security, belonging, and personal space. Some of you may be repairing a connection that has been a little bit with a family member. I do see that going well for you, and it's going to bring you peace of mind. Some of you have been losing sleep over some sort of connection where it was just a little bit agitated. I'm seeing 2 people who actually share a space, who I assume are a couple, right? Going to bed at night kind of mad at each other. That's going to smooth itself over, and I think you guys may even sort of hit reset on your relationship and take like a little, again, like a weekend getaway together just to like leave work behind, no laptops, no briefcase, no paperwork. Like let's just, you and me, be in it, be present. Like let's do this. Some of you who are working in an entertainment field, a script may come to you, or a script may come across your desk. There may be a successful audition. Anybody who works in the movie industry, that looks really good, especially if you've been spending a lot of time at home and you're looking to get back into it. There's I know this isn't for everyone, guys. There's some script or story or narrative or song lyrics, any artist of any kind, something that is inspired and influenced by home or family. There's like a script about a family coming to you, or some of you are doing an interview, or again, sharing your personal story. You might be writing a children's book. You might be writing a biography. You might be doing something to do with maybe research and ancestry and roots and legacy. You may be doing one of those like 23andMe things. There's more interest and curiosity about your home and your history and your past. It might just be a personal interest, but it may also have to do with other people having an interest in you and your story. All right. Some of you may also be getting into something with like quite literally with the restaurant industry. I don't always read these cards as literal, but it's sort of like the idea of it. So some of you may be, getting into like hosting, hospitality, that sort of thing. Some of you are going to buy a new car. Some of you, or if you know that your car is long overdue to have repairs, that's going to be a priority for you because you actually have the money to do it now and you actually have the time. Like you can take a couple days off of work while your car is in the shop because you don't have like, your boss isn't breathing down your neck. You seem to be in some really strong collaboration right now where you're like the boss or the supervisor or maybe you're your own boss, but metaphorically, like the boss likes you, like you're good. You kind of have a bit of a free pass right now. So this says the end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. Love it, love it. And this one's peeking out. We'll read this one as well. Meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces. It's funny because those were the cards that came out in your other spread. There was Capricorn energy and then there was like that Pisces Neptune energy. So it's both. It's work and spirituality and maybe how those cross over one another in your life, how those intersect, how to incorporate both. Or there could be kind of a drastic switch from being in like workaholic hustler mode to kind of like, again, this sort of loosey-goosey embracing maybe more artistic endeavors, playtime, something with music or the arts becomes more of a focus and a more of a priority for you. All right, how am I doing for time, Aries? Ooh, my camera's out of focus. How do we get that back? All right, Aries, we're back. Sorry about that. My camera was having issues. So final notes, final messages for Aries that may or may not be related to what we've already said. I feel like you have a lot of good career stuff happening right now. Should we ask about love? If Aries wants to know about their love life, let's see. I feel like your ancestors or spirit guides are trying to communicate with you. There also is some sort of important piece of wisdom that a grandparent passed on to you. It's something that you already tell yourself. For most of you, it's not something that you're being asked to like meditate on per se. You're welcome to do that, but it's like that little thing your grandma always said to you. It had to do with your own positive, self-esteem, that sort of thing. Or it may have been a grandfather. It's something they always said, and maybe it doesn't have to do with you, but now as an adult, you're going to play that back and be like, oh, wow, that really applies, or that's interesting. It has to do with your love life. I don't know what that means, but... And then the moon, things are kind of a mystery right now. You do have a lot of Pisces energy that came through in your spread multiple times. So I would maybe keep my eye out on a Pisces, maybe a Cancer, maybe an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What about the moon? I think what's in need for most of my Aries who have gone through a recent breakup is healing. I think that's what you have two cards of Pisces and Neptune type energy. Healing and also being able to see things from a different perspective. I think for a lot of you, again, I'm going to reiterate the fact that you may have gotten out of a relationship that at the time meant a lot to you, but ultimately by staying with that person, it would have held you back from like your greater purpose, your greater destiny. So I think you can release it and not hold any grudge or resentment. I think there needs to be this understanding of it happened for a reason, and maybe at the time I didn't totally understand it, but this is about perspective. It's about seeing like the forest from the trees, being grateful that it happened, but also, and I know this is going to sting a little bit, also being grateful that it ended. I think sometimes rejection is divine protection, and the universe was trying to tell you like, this is like, no, Aries, not quite the one. I'm literally hearing that J.K. Simmons in Whiplash, like, not quite my tempo, right? What is it he says? He's yelling at the kid. He's like, are you rushing or are you dragging? Oh my God, great movie. Watch Whiplash. That's for my musicians out there, particularly my drummers, or if anyone's a rock star. Oh my God, Whiplash. It's a great movie. That in itself feels very symbolic of how a relationship ended. Whiplash. It's like you got jolted into something and maybe someone hit the brakes very suddenly and you didn't see it coming, and like metaphorically, like the idea of whiplash. Yeah, I gotta be honest, this is not forever. This is, for the next couple weeks maybe. The love stuff looks very like contemplative, healing, moody, a little bit heartbroken, like wanting to get back out there but not feeling ready. So don't. If you don't feel ready, don't do it, because ultimately hurt people, right? If you're going to get back on the apps or whatever and you're not coming into it with a good vibe, you're just going to end up hurting someone else. So like take the time to rest, recuperate. This might be kind of like hermit mode energy for you right now. That being said, your work connections look like fire. But yeah, I think the Four of Cups kind of says when you're ready to, an opportunity will present itself. But if you're not ready, you're not going to take advantage of something. And so you don't need to rush it. You're never going to miss out on anything that isn't meant for you. Or anything that is meant for you, for that matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to miss something. It'll come back around again if it's meant to be yours. Yeah, literally hermit mode. This could indicate Virgo Pisces energy is around you. It could be that that's making its way into you, but it's a little bit of like a spiritual journey for you right now. So that would be a good use of your energy, not trying to force relationships into your life. All right, Aries, that's what I got for you. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell if you want us to find each other on YouTube again. Leave a comment, leave an emoji. Otherwise, I will see you next time for more tarot. Bye.